Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. Today's video we are discussing the current meta and how to fix the current meta, and we joined here by the great LyleJeffs, one of the best battlers in the world, or he used to be. He's kind of retired now because he said the one-turn move update. Is that true, or you changed it? The reason?
Which one?
Why did you retire this season?
I took about a month break because the game has a lot of bugs and I didn't feel like it was worth my time to put that much time and effort in. So honestly, I'm taking a lot more casual approach to the game right now and I feel a lot better about it. So I think the month, like I didn't open the Pokemon Go app for a month and I feel a lot better about it. So if anyone's feeling overwhelmed, I think that's a good idea to do that.
That's a great idea. Every time I feel like I'm washed, I take a break and then I come back washed again. Yes. But you said bugs, and bugs is something that we will be talking about today. But before we head into the bugs, let's talk about the top 10 most used Pokemon this season. These data were collected from Dracovish, from the Play Pokemon. So all these regionals, all these teams, we collected the data. I didn't collect. I just got it ready from Dracovish. And now, Lyle, what do you think are the most 10 used Pokemon this past season, ever since they buffed Rock Tomb?
I'm trying to remember when they buffed Rock Tomb.
After Vancouver. Well, Vancouver, they were buffed, but they were illegal to use.
Like, yeah, Lapras is going to be up there.
It's there.
Azu, probably. Maybe like Talonflame or something.
Talonflame is not there.
Drapion, maybe.
Drapion is there. Tinkaton is there.
Yeah, trying to think what else. Claydol, potentially.
Claydol is there, actually. Okay, so let me show you the thing. So the most 10 used Pokemon this season in the big tournaments, okay? I didn't take all the tournaments. I took the top 10 tournaments by, like, how many people attended, right? So Azu, 389, followed by Jumpluff, 375 DBU, Lapras, 302, Drapion, 299, until Feraligatr 170, which kind of like, this season we have less Feraligatr. Do you know any reason why we have less Feraligatr than the past seasons?
Probably just because of Psywave, like Lapras. Is just super annoying for Feraligatr, so.
Yeah. And Drapion seems to be a bit less, but still in the top 4. Do you think Drapion is slightly worse than last season? Because last season it was #1 most used Pokemon.
It looked like it was declining a little bit, but I think it's one of those things where it might drop off for a tournament, but then when the new meta kind of shifts, then what people bring to sort of handle that allows like the Drapion Azu to sort of come back in a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like people were like, if you look at when Pocket won Milwaukee, he was running like Malamar Diggersby.
Yep.
There wasn't a lot of Azu. So then people might make the adjustment back to Azu. And then if Azu comes back, it means Drapion's better, right? So
exactly, like
Drapion is a lot better into Azu than Tinkaton, obviously, right?
Exactly, like what it feels like whatever changes they do, Azu will always make a comeback. Unlike like Clodsire feels like it's popular in one tournament and it skips like 3-4 tournaments and it comes back. And I don't think it's bad. Like the matchup into Malamar, you still comfortably win the 0. It's not that bad of a matchup. Into Drapion, you land the EQ and you're done. Like you're good. The Claydol matchup's pretty horrific. The Lapras matchup.
There's a lot of Claydol. There's a lot of Psywave users, and it's the matchup. Like now that a lot of the grass people are using, were like Credillia as well, especially. Like you're not even that consistent into the grass types, right? So it's still like a solid all around Pokemon, but it's maybe not as dominant in it's losing a lot of neutral play, right? So,
yeah. So something I don't understand, because I'm a GBL player. I don't go to that many tournaments. I've only been in Toronto. I don't understand why Claydol is everywhere and Kwak is disappearing from the meta. It's more offensive, it's more oppressive, and it's spammier. And it can fix some problems that Claydol is struggling with. But I don't know, pro players seems to like Claydol much more.
Claydol just has like, it's a little broken with the whole Rock Tomb situation, right? And since Jumpluff's so popular, having access to like to Ice Beam
Yeah.
just can really help, right?
Yeah, it's actually the second most popular Pokemon. Like this is overall, right?
I think one of my favorite battlers, Tomahawk UK, was the first one to recommend when the meta shifted. Why are we running Scorching Sands on our Claydol? Because not like the Ice Beam Rock Tomb set wasn't like the standard one right at the start,
Mm-hmm.
but then people realized like you don't really need Scorching Sands when you have Mud Slap.
Is that the same guy who recommended Night Slash Annihilate back in the days? Because he kept getting boosts on stream.
Yeah, he's a big Annihilate fan. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that. There was a played on stream once, and he was running Night Slash. I think it was the first one on stream at least, and he kept getting Night Slash boost. And after that, it became everyone just running Night Slash. Everyone was getting so much pleasure, I would say, from watching Annihilate boosting and just farming down everything.
Yeah, I was a bad Annihilate player because I was more of a, thinker and less of a degen booster. So
I mean, I'm assuming you just because you mold, so like you hate it when you don't get the boost and you smash your table, and you can't do that on stage, and so you feel like you're in jail playing.
yeah, the one time I ran Annihilate at a tournament was Worlds last year, and my first two opponents both had like Mandibuzz and like Gligar on their
Oh
team
my
or
god.
something. And I was just like, well, this Pokemon's useless.
Yeah. So these are like the most used. Like we're talking about day 1 and day 2. Now we just want to talk about day 2. Like which of these Pokemons were like more successful than the others, and it's kind of like slightly different because like as an example, we have Sandslash here making an appearance, and we have Sable Guy. I don't know why. I'm assuming two people running those two Pokemons made it, because this is just day 2. So now we're looking at the meta deeper, or like on the successful people side, or like people who make it to day 2. So why Sableye and why A-Slash?
It's hard. It's when you look at this meta, it's kind of a little tricky because you have to realize like for almost the first half of it, there was no Tinkaton, right? So like
Yeah.
it seemed like in the earlier part, like the Atlanta part of the meta, like Sableye Sandslash was more popular. But then when Tinkaton was introduced, it sort of shifted away to more Malamar potential usage.
Dude, I swear I feel like Niantic hates Sableye. Every time Sableye comes back, they just bam. Here is a hot counter to Sableye. Here is Diggersby. Here is Tinkaton now. It's just completely wall everything.
Diggersby's coming back a bit too because of that. So
is it because of Aiden?
I mean, yeah, that team was very popular. I mean, it wasn't just him. It was like Nighttime Clasher. They worked on that team together. So, but that team sort of was super popular. So much so that I think Clasher kind of 5-headed him going into Melbourne because he was so convinced that everyone was going to try to RPS them or something. So.
So, among all these Pokemons, if you were like to build 6, which 4 Pokemons you wouldn't bring in the current meta, and why?
Pardon?
If you have to choose 6 Pokemons out of these 10, which 4 would you drop?
I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely Sableye. Probably. I'm not a fan of Claydol, but I think it's really good. I like A-Slash, Sableye, Claydol are my probably 3 least favorite ones. And then another Pokemon I would probably drop is maybe like, I don't know, maybe Gator.
I asked SJ, he said he wouldn't bring Tinkaton. He feels like
it's also a viable.
It's overhyped.
I wouldn't say it's overhyped, but people are prepared for it. They are well aware that they need to have ways to deal with Tinkaton, right?
Yeah, I think his main argument was it lose to Jumpluff in the 0 and to Shadow Jumpluff in the 1, which is illegal. Like when you resist everything and you still lose, that shows like that just shows that the Pokemon is bad.
For Shadow Jumpluff.
Exactly.
Or the Shadow Jumpluff only wins the 2s.
I think Shadow can win the 1. And the non-Shadow can win the 0, which is even worse. Like
8, but I don't think the Tinkaton's ever gonna shield, right? Like,
yeah.
You're not shielding acrobatics. They're just gonna play the 0-1s, right?
Yeah, like the Malamar matchup isn't even bad for Malamar. We saw like Pocket multiple times, like actually targeting that Tinkaton with the Malamar.
You need a Psywave resist, right, in the meta, so that it does bring valuable like neutrality to that core of like, and plus it's one of the reasons why Drapion Azu has dropped off, because it's pretty strong into that core as well, right?
So you said you need a Psywave resistance. So now we're talking about these 10 Pokemons. What two problems do you have other than Psywave? As an example, you said you need Psywave resistance. What else do you consider when you build a team? That you just said you need a Psywave resistance if you're going to a tournament.
Yeah, you need a Psywave resistance. You need a way to deal with Malamar. And you need a way to also keep Mudslap in check. So that's why, I mean, Jump Bluff doesn't fill all those roles, but it has a pretty good matchup into the main Psywave users, being Lapras and Malamar. And again, you resist Mudslap, so I think it's a reason why it's so popular right now. Also, there's not a lot of other flyers in the meta. Like, what beats Jump Bluff? It's the flying types, right? But they nerfed Wing Attack, and there wasn't really any other viable way to get flying types into the meta, right?
There is no good flyers, and Jump Bluff is the only good flyers, basically.
Like, maybe Talonflame is a good flyer, but again, or
Talonflame feels like it's just like a GBL hero. It's not like a like it's a good Pokemon because people don't respect it enough.
It's clunky to use in a tournament setting. Like, the 5-turn fast move is easy to get exploited, like with potential catches and, like, you know, do I do an extra Incinerate here? The opponent's on 1 HP or something, like 2 HP. Like, they could switch and throw a charge move, and then even though I win CMP, I'm like in the middle of an Incinerate, right? So it's sort of like, on practice it's good, but on paper, it's good, but actually in the tournament it can lead to awkward situations where you have to make sort of like reads, right?
There is so many awkward situations. I've been using Talonflame the past 2 weeks, and one of the matchups, as an example, I hate is playing into Ferret and playing into G-Weezing.
Yeah, G-Weezing super spammy.
Yeah, G-Weezing somehow wins the zero, and Ferret is just too annoying. You have to throw sometimes outside, like on bad timing, just to avoid that thing. Just keep spamming so Swift. So you mentioned you have to care about Psywave users. You need to check for Malamar. You need to check for Mudslappers and Rock Tomb users in general. So like those are like your main issues, like, or your main consideration whenever you want to build a team. Now, something before we head into that, let's talk about highest win rate, match win rate among the top 5 in day 2. So like, can you guess what's the highest win rate Pokemons in the tournament in the past season? The current season, basically.
Highest win rate matchup. I would guess probably like Lapras.
Nope, Lapras is not there.
And Claydol.
Claydol is actually there.
Yeah. Okay. Lapras and maybe Jump Bluff Claydol.
Tinkaton is the highest win rate at 61%. So 61% of the people who brought Tinkaton end up winning. I think that's just one tournament, and it was full of Tinkaton, and the good players with Tinkaton made it today too, I'm assuming. Sable Guy, 61%, but it kind of dropped after the Tinkaton. Claydol, 60%. Drapion, 59%. I think Drapion just says how good Drapion Jump Bluff are. Like, can you be weak to a Jump Bluff nowadays?
I think the thing about the current moveset on Jump Bluff is that nothing is not weak to Jump Bluff, right?
Exactly.
It's like, in the right situation with the right player, it can put in work against almost anything. And that's why people are running Tinkaton. The main reason is it's not even that it's really good. It's like you also need something that can just like eat acrobatics too.
Exactly, like a Drapion used to be the answer to Jump Bluff when Jump Bluff was running Energy Ball, and now because of acrobatic, I think Jump Bluff wins the zero. Because an acrobatic and aerial ace do it.
Jump Bluff, I think, wins the one.
There is a shield scenario where you win once you land the acrobatic. It's or like 11, once you just get out, I guess.
It's 11 fairy wins to acrobatic aerial ace, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess
you get outpaced by the.
I guess it's annoying because once the Jump Bluff lands the acrobatic, they can pretty much just switch out to something that doesn't care about the Drapion, and Drapion's usually advantage is like when being healthy and just spamming crunches, right?
in my opinion, most jump luffs against a Drapion will just play the zeros
Exactly.
and double ace. You build up to the acrobatics, you ace, and then you can get off another ace before they make their second crunch.
Yeah.
If they don't debuff you, they're forced to throw again before they make the third ace. But if they debuff you, they can sting you down, so it can get a little. That's for shadow jump luff. I haven't used the non-shadow that much, but
Yeah, there's kind of a hype now on the shadow. So these are like the main Pokemons, the main problems you just mentioned. Now, how to fix Rock Tomb, Mr. Lyle. There is two things, it's a damaging move that debuffs. So reduce debuff chance, nerf damage by. So, okay, how much does Rock Tomb do damage now? What's the stats on Rock Tomb?
I have no idea. I'm not good with those types of numbers.
It does lots of damage, okay?
It's a very good charge move. I think they should nerf the damage.
So would you like to nerf the damage or nerf the chance?
I prefer playing with known variables. So if I know I'm going to get debuffed, I can take account for that. But if it's like a chance, then I think it just adds less skill to the game, in my opinion.
Like when Aiden got 4 Scorching Sands debuffs against SJ.
Exactly.
Last tournament. And his bunny was able to beat Lapras. I mean, to be fair, it's just unfair for a move to does lots of damage and also have a guaranteed chance to debuff. Like as an example, there is two problems. Jumpluff into Drapion is not even a bad matchup, and what makes me mold about that matchup is that they don't even care about throwing good timing. So it makes people win games with less skills. It's like throwing on bad timing is kind of a crime at high MMR games, right? But if they can throw the move just before you, just to debuff you and reduce your output damage, that's kind of, like something that I don't appreciate. It's like something less skill and more of like a linear gaming, which is always boring to watch. What do you think, Mr. Lyle?
Yeah, I agree. I think the if you're gonna have a guaranteed debuff, it'd be nice if the damage was a little bit lower, just so you can't give people free like it feels almost like a scald, but like a 100% debuff chance.
Yes, I remember when scald was a problem.
I mean, I won a regional in the Skull meta, so I'm not going to complain that much. But I may or may not have abused Wish Cash,
So if we go to this, the highest 5-1 rate, I can see there is one type that can beat those 4, and it's kind of bad in the meta. Can you guess which type is that?
Fire?
That's one. Okay. Another one.
Fairy?
Fairy beats those. Claydol Drapion, this thing.
Maybe, yeah, I could. I mean, I don't know. Fairy flying type, maybe?
I don't know. I looked into those and I was like, the bug type. Because you said there is a problem with Mud Slappers. There is a problem with the Psywave users, like Malamar, which takes double super effective from bug type, right?
Right. Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, bug. The thing about bug is that it's just a bad offensive and defensive type in general.
Yeah.
But it's not. So if they were to buff it, I don't think that's a bad thing, just because it's not an overpowered type, right?
Exactly. It's a horrible type. And usually with bad types, we get good charge moves or fast move. As an example, look at Grass type. It has one of the best charge moves in the game. I mean, Ghosts... I don't know about Ghosts. They have Shadow Claw. So why wouldn't we just get... I don't know. If we get something that's somewhat Shadow Claw clone to bug type, maybe that would fix a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shadow Claw clone, or I guess buff like some of the moves.
Fury Cutter, Bug Bite.
I don't know what else. Like, there's some other bug type moves that aren't in the game. I'm not sure. It's mainly a fast move thing, but there's like U-turn, I guess, is a move in the main series.
Yeah. They've added U-turn like 2 years ago to the game. They just want to... I think they forgot about it or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, people don't know. It's like, is it going to be, like, fast move or charge move? Or is it going to come to the game or something? Because when I take a look at the meta, I actually tried this Pokemon with Volt Switch Rock Tomb. It's decent as an example into Drapion if Drapion doesn't get a crunch debuff, you know? This Pokemon is good into something like Malamar, Gator, and Lapras in some certain situations. But, you know, there is always but. It's good if. It's bad if. So I feel like a small buff, something that can benefit those... Either of those three I'm actually happy with. But I think those two deserve a buff the most. Those are like mainly PvP Pokemons, and they've never been good in PvP. But I feel like they can fix a problem that we have nowadays.
Well, Araquanid was supposed to be good, but then they nerfed it before release, right? If you remember, it was supposed to have Crunch, Lunge.
Yeah.
Bug Bite, Crunch, Lunge, and it was supposed to be like a very powerful. And then they removed both those moves. Charge Bug was good, obviously, for a while, but there's just not a lot of targets for it right now, specifically. It's just a little like Volt Switch maybe holding it back. Yeah, Fortress is also interesting, but it just feels sort of underwhelming.
Because, like, yeah, a buff to Fortress, as an example, you're buffing a Pokemon for both Great League and Ultra League, and it can fix an occurring problem, like Lapras. Have you played against Lapras in Ultra League?
No, I haven't played much Ultra League.
Dude, it beats everything. It beats like, the Jellicent matchup, it gets annoying sometimes with Jellicent.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
It's just so insane.
It can be annoying.
In Ultra League. So that's like as far as the bug type. I don't know. Would you appreciate like a bug type buff, or do you just hate the typing, or do you think it's
no,
like...
I like bugs. I'm a big fan of like Pokemon. You know, in custom metas, you use them a lot more. Like a Beedrill potentially is a fun bug type. You're posting these ones here, but there's also like I like some spicy picks too. Like a Scolipede is fun, or just some random. Which one?
Venomoth.
Venomoth is a fun one for sure. Any of the Kanto ones. Make Butterfree good somehow, please.
Yeah, you want to feel like Ash? You're going to play Ash team?
Ash Pokemon, exactly. Let's go, baby.
Bring back Kanto Cup, please.
Yeah, I love Kanto.
Yeah, Kanto Cup is one of the best. There is no steel type.
Kanto Cup, right?
Yeah. Bring back Kanto Cup.
Aishrews in that cup.
Aishrew, Dragonite, like all the fun Pokemons. I mean, Nidoqueen kind of ruined it when it was buffed because it was the only ground type, so you can't run poison.
Yeah.
But Kanto Cup is the cup where literally you could use half of the Pokemons and they will be meta.
Yeah, I like that meta for sure.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that Jumpluff is the only flyer. And there is like quite flyers we have in the current in the game. We have Lugia, Charizard, Mandibuzz, Boombardier, Galarian Moltres, Tropius. And I've looked into what could fix those problems, those Pokemons, and Fly is always the thing that screams like, just give me a Fly,
I think I've heard a couple other things for Lugia. Fly, yes, but I've also heard potentially like Surf could be an interesting addition, or like Psyshock or something. One of those two something a bit lower energy, because the Dragon Tail Sky Attack combo is just like, it's not it, But yeah, a lot of these flyers don't really beat Jumpluff very well, which is part of the issue, right?
Yeah.
Like Moltres, like Jumpluff just laughs at Moltres. Like the super effective fairy wins,
Yeah.
I think at the Toronto Regional, I played opponent, and because I was running acrobatics at that tournament, and he had Snarl Mandy, and after the game he had lost, and he said, damn, like I won the lead there. I was like, I can't believe I lost that game. And I said, like, well, I just won the zeros against your Mandibuzz with my Jumpluff, so I won't consider it a lost lead, if you know what I'm saying, right? So,
yeah, like a good player would always play the zero in the lead so you can get energy on like that scary Pokemon. What scary Pokemon did you have? The Primeape back then?
I had a Primeape, and like really the only thing I was worried about was the Mandibuzz.
Yeah.
So
happy to see it in the lead.
Yes, exactly.
So would you think Fly would make Mandibuzz too broken, or do you think it would fix a problem?
I'm not sure what the issue with Mandibuzz is. Maybe just it's just like, I think
it's Air Slash. It's Air Slash.
It's Air Slash and Snarls. Both of them are just not keeping up with the current times, right? If you look, people Snarl used to be a move that people use, but nowadays, like any of the Snarl users are just like gone from the meta. I even had a friend who was considering running Umbreon out of meta, but we talked him out of it because it beats Lapras pretty hard. But it was a bad
That's it.
idea. I'm glad he
I
didn't.
think if they
Well,
like, I would be happy to see Umbreon getting, I don't know, Sucker Punch.
anything that would give it a little bit more
Because it's a neutral Pokemon, right?
Well-rounded play, right?
Like, what's the annoying Pokemons nowadays? Diggersby, Malamar, Lapras, Claydol. Umbreon with, I don't know, slight upgrade can beat those. And it's a Pokemon that everyone has. So that's for as far as the fly. And now, talking about Psywave, like there is more Pokemons that could learn Psywave. Mr. Lyle, how about Psywave Hypno? Yeah.
I mean, I am a big fan of Hypno. I think, yeah, there's. How about Mewtwo? But that's a different conversation for a later date.
Yeah, I think we will talk about it later in the video, actually.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking because this is maybe a Great League focused video mainly, but that's more of like a Master League thing. Yes, Hypno is like a really good stat product, right? So if you can give neutral, bulky Pokemon advantage, or like because again, Psychic is not the best offensive typing. There are things that resist it, but when you put it down into a one-turn move because of the way multipliers and stuff works,
yes,
it just makes it a lot more like better in terms of the damage and stuff in the meta. So
like look at this. Can you believe that Confusion Hypno lose to Clodsire, lose to Diggersby, even though you have Ice Punch, lose to Dunsparce, which is a Pokemon that literally just throw non-stop damage.
Well, this looks like Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, but
yeah, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch.
So, but beating Diggersby without Ice Punch.
Oh, sorry.
In Psywave is
I see
nice.
Yeah. So if you give it Psywave, you flip those Diggersby, Clodsire, Dunsparce. You don't without even Ice Punch here. Feraligatr, Greninja. I mean Greninja is whatever. Jumpluff, Talonflame, and you tie with Marowak.
Yeah, it's just like a Psywave user that can beat Lapras, can have pressure into Jumpluff. I like it. I like it a lot. You still get destroyed by Hypno, or sorry, Malamar.
Malamar. Yeah, I mean that's a matchup you just can't win. But I mean it's an option. Now, Pokemons with potential. I think there is, as you said, I did not read the news. I was like, I don't know, it's time for those. Reggie, this guy, and Regigigas. I think I saw that somewhere that they add something grip charge move.
Vice grip, yes.
To and potentially they will give it to Regigigas, but I feel like Regigigas needs lots of work to be viable because you have a bad fast move and you have bad charge moves.
Well, it's never going to be eligible for Great League essentially because I think even at research level it's like 1800 CP or something. So I have a Shadow, I guess I could technically use for Great League,
but for Master League, it's a very high CP Pokemon, right?
It doesn't have a good fast move, though. I think Vice Grip's going to be a charge move based on what they said, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So,
what about both Reggies? I think this guy has Bite and this guy has Lock On, or it's the other way around.
Oh, you're saying just like in terms of moves they know? Or no, the Drago has Bite currently, and Regieleki has Thundershock and Lock On, but it doesn't have a good charge move pool, is the problem, and it's very glassy. Regidrago is more of a PvP type Pokemon. It's got similar HP to like a Guzzlord, like 230 HP.
Yeah.
And it's a little bulkier. So I think.
What's the typing?
It's just Dragon.
Okay.
All the Reggies are mono typing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this current update, they said that they were giving it Dragon. I'm not sure. There's a new Dragon move, maybe a charge move, and Dragon Breath. So
yeah.
I think it could be interesting.
What's the other move that has, like, if let's say that
Breaking
Dragon
Swipe,
move?
It has Breaking Swipe and Outrage and Hyper Beam, I think.
I was like, what's the non-Dragon move that it has?
I believe it's Hyper Beam. I'm not sure if it has
that's too long, but I would appreciate anything that can buff Dragon. It feels kind of bad that we don't run Dragons. Like, Dragons used to be the most oppressive Pokemons. Now somehow Mudslap just Power Corrupt Dragon Tail and Psywave just Power Corrupt Dragon Breath. Now, as far as Master League, I said this 3 seasons. I'm gonna keep saying it. Psywave and Mewtwo. because Mewtwo's like kind of the king of the neutral matchups, or that's how it used to be. Now it loses all the neutral matchups.
Yeah, it loses to all like the dragons, like the new dragons.
Yeah,
Like, because it can't. It needs 2 charge moves to KO, and everything else
exactly.
in Master League has fast move pressure, so they can always just do fast move damage and put you
Plus
into
one,
range where
yeah,
they need 1 charge move, right?
exactly.
So
Like the good Pokemons nowadays, they just throw one charge move and then farm you down, while Mewtwo still have to throw two. So you kind of need to upgrade it. Either make Psycho Cut, they give it the Poison Sting treatment, right? Just make it do 1 more damage.
yeah, that could be useful.
Yeah,
Maybe they're worried it'd be too strong, but I mean, dude, Mewtwo should be a strong Pokemon in
it's a
Master
strong
League, honestly.
Pokemon. It should be a strong Pokemon. That's the
Right?
thing.
Yeah,
Like, can you
exactly.
believe that lose to Landorus?
That's sad. That is very sad.
Yeah, it lose to Togekiss.
It loses to Kyogre. Kyogre doesn't beat anything right now.
Exactly. Kyogre doesn't beat anything. It beats a Mewtwo. Now, Lyle, I want you to take a deep breath because I know that you hate the next one.
Okay.
Corviknight, hear me out. This Pokemon looks sick, and we need a new toy. Okay? This was supposed to be our new toy.
This was supposed to be the Pokemon that beat Jumpluff, but it doesn't
Yes,
really do that.
Jumpluff and Drapion. But somehow it doesn't. If a Drapion gets a crunch debuff, they can 2-shield through you.
I saw Pocket was playing for Battle Frontier this week, and he led his Jumpluff into a Corviknight in the 3rd game, and it did not end well for the opponent there. So
Yeah.
it has no fast move pressure against so many things, right?
Yeah, Jumpluff. I think that was nighttime clasher against the Snots, and Snots led his Corviknight into Jumpluff. I was like, okay, GG, Snots win. And then that nighttime clasher 2-shielded his Jumpluff, put the Corviknight so low, he switched out with like 90% health Jumpluff.
Yeah. How do you take care of it later, right?
Yeah, it's like one of the worst matchups to see. So, would you like to give it back the drill pick or upgrade Sand Attack to a Psywave?
Yeah, it's like a sort of we're getting a bit of a power creep right now. It seems like I like what they did to Psywave, to be honest with you, because I always liked Malamar as a Pokemon. I think it's a very neutral, and I don't think it's broken because it's sort of like a mid
The
bulk,
typing.
right?
Yeah, the typing
Yeah,
hold it back as well.
Typing's not the greatest, but I think it's just a very flexible. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess I don't know if they buff Sand Attack, what else that would affect, but yeah, the damage is just not there. Like I think you're doing 1 damage to Claydol, Sand Attack. Like that's just not
Yes.
it, you know?
You lose to Claydol, by the way, even though you resist Mud Slap. I played that matchup and as a Claydol, and I thought I'm gonna lose, and I actually won because, as you said, Sand Attack just does 1 damage. There is another matchup where have you seen the matchup into Talonflame?
Oh, I don't want to think
You
about
get
that.
toasted. The matchup into Azu, still bad.
It's not that. I actually have been playing some Dragonite, Shadow Dragonite in GBL, and that's like a really good matchup for Dragonite.
Yes, Dragonite. Yes, I want to say Dragonite. Sorry.
Because you basically can just your Dragon Breaths are doing so much more than their Sand Attacks, and you just Dragon Breath it down into like superpower range, and yeah, it's really comfortable for Dragonite.
So yeah, thank you so much, Mr. LyleJeffs, for joining me today. How people can find you out if they want to follow you?
You can follow me on X, LyleJeffs 3 or 1 III. I'm probably going to be streaming a little bit more upcoming. I'm not sure, but I have been taking a little bit of the break from the game, just not take it super seriously. But I think it's been for the best, and because again, the game doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
So when you put as much time and energy into it, it can get frustrating at times. So.
I mean, I think I'm at 600 battles, a bit less. How many battles do you have?
Yeah, I'm around there, 600 to 700.
So
but the thing is, you got to realize, like, I'm traveling to a lot of tournaments too, right? So
yeah,
like,
I mean, tournaments are fun.
They are, but when the reason you don't make money or don't make top 8s is because of lag, it really can, like I lost a game in at EUIC because my opponent got DRE.
So,
Like, it's just those types of things you don't know when it's gonna happen.
what
Right?
are you
Like,
playing, Elam?
no, I wasn't playing Elam. I was playing some. I don't even know who it was. It
Okay.
was.
Yeah, thank you so much, LyleJeff. If you guys, I don't know, think any of the changes that could improve the current meta, like fix some of the problems that LyleJeff mentioned, which is Mud Slap, Rock Tomb, Side Weavers, and what was the rest? Improving the flying type.
Yeah, just improve the flying types a bit. For sure, yeah.
Please let us know in the description. Make sure to follow Mr. LyleJeff. Mr. LyleJeff. Oh, Mr. LyleJeff over there. I will be leaving his socials in the description, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, or whatever you're having. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, and thank you so much, Mr. Lyle, for joining me today.